Well, hi there! I'm finally back here for video number 3 in my horror movie series. Yay! I was gonna post this a couple weeks ago, but I got a little caught up with, Comic-Con and life. This video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what is the difference in the appeal between just a scary movie and a slasher. To start with, a lot of it is actually the same. In any horror movie, you're gonna have those moments of building dread, building terror. Final girl running down the hall, serial killer chasing after her. She's running, screaming, "Oh my god, where am I going?" He's sauntering down, taking his own sweet time. We've got the music playing. It's really tense. And again, we're sitting there edge of our seats. That plays back into a lot of what I was talking about last time with the adrenaline and then the catharsis and all that. But if we're going into slasher movies, there are some differences. And anyone, if you've watched a slasher movie, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. So to illustrate my points, I watched a slasher movie, and I'm going to use that as my example. So I'm sure many of you have maybe seen this one. It's credited with reviving the horror genre and the slasher in particular in the 90s. And this movie is Wes Craven's Scream. So Scream came out in 1996. What Scream does really well, and this is why I think it was so popular and so successful, is it takes the rules of the subgenre, the slasher movie, it acknowledges them and it tells the audience what it's doing through the characters of Randy and Stu and all these conversations they have about the rules of a slasher and how you survive. Don't go up the stairs. Don't have sex. Don't say, "I'll be right back." You're not going to come back. The second that you lose your innocence, you're going to get stabbed in the gut. And if you go up the stairs, you probably should have gone out the front door. When we know what the rules are, when a movie then comes in and breaks those rules or, subverts our expectations, that can just throw us for a loop. That can be pleasurable as well. I mean, we don't always necessarily want to get what we expect. We want to be surprised. We want to be scared. We want to see new things, the novelty of it. When we're watching the movie, we identify with the final girl. That's who we're supposed to have this empathy, sympathy, whatever for. But this thing that happened, and this is the reason that these horror movies have all these franchises. We have franchises of horror movies. Filmmakers realized we're not just identifying with the final girl, we're identifying to an extent with the killer. Maybe not in the same way. We exercise our demons as we watch them play out on screen. Slashers in particular speak to power. Who has it, who's victimized by it, and who's going to take it back. The audience gets the anti-hero to cheer for in the killer, and this can just sort of be like our outlet, our expression of our frustrations to society and to our place. And this is a character that is able to be violent and fight back against these power structures. In the end, who we really end up sympathizing for and wanting to win the day is the final girl. There's something to that. We're watching the would-be victim take that power for herself and overcome these seemingly impossible odds to survive and, win the day. So to bring this back to Scream and sum this up, Scream in particular highlights, like I said, that thing about the slasher genre, the rules. Every genre has its own tropes and has its certain audience expectations. Knowing these rules dissipates some of the fear and tension, but I would argue if you're watching Scream, even though, you know what the rules are, when Sydney's running up and down the stairs and being chased by Ghostface, it's still pretty tense. I mean, you still don't know if she's going to make it out, especially with the big reveal at the end of who the killer is. In short, watching the rules play out, seeing them either followed or, deliberately broken, is fun. We like to laugh as much as we like to scream, and it's a good time when a movie manages to do both. And that's what I got. I know I said I was going to watch Dementia 13 and talk about that too. I haven't had a chance to do that yet. Like I said, life's been a little crazy, so I would still like to and get to that one eventually. But I'm not going to do my next video on that one. I'm going to save it for later. The next video I would like to do is I'd like to talk about The Conjuring and ghost movies and that haunted house subgenre. Which, if any of you guys have followed my website, The Lady's Revenge, you would know last October I did a whole series on ghost haunted house movies. So The Conjuring is out in theaters now. If you want to watch and chat along with me, check it out. And my next video will be about The Conjuring. In the meantime, if you want some more slasher movies to watch, there's so many slashers out there. You could do a slasher movie drinking game and write down the rules and take a drink every time somebody either follows a rule or breaks one. You'd probably get really drunk. Maybe I'll do that in a future video. Anyway, until next time, watch scary movies, be scared. If you like my videos and you haven't followed me yet, you can subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter at The Lady's Revenge. You can find my website, theladiesrevenge.com, where I write more about all of this stuff. It's a good time. It's like a horror movie party. Come follow along, watch along, be scared, scream. See what I did there? And I will see you next time. It runs the gamut, but pretty much every time there's a lot of objects that are shaped, you know, pointy end, and they go into people. Penetration happens. They all kill with something phallic shaped. A chainsaw, machetes, a knife. This motion happens a lot. Come on.